In the headlines, opening statements will be made today in the case of an alleged serial killer. It's been weeks since Hurricane Irene ripped through the area, but the city says they're still working to get everything back to normal. And September is Ovarian Cancer Awareness Month. These stories and more coming up on NewsBreak starting now.
From WHIG-TV, this is NewsBreak 31. Now, here's Marie Torres.
Hello and thanks for tuning in to WHIG-TV NewsBreak, your voice in the community. I'm Marie Torres. Opening statements will be made today in a Bertie County courtroom. It's the beginning of the long-awaited trial of a suspected serial killer. After yesterday's completion of jury selection, 7 jurors will today hear the case of 33-year-old Antoine Maurice Pittman, who is standing trial for the first-degree murder of 28-year-old Tara Nicholson. Nicholson's remains were found in a wooded area in rural Edgecombe County in March 2009. An autopsy shows she was strangled and possibly sexually assaulted. She is one of 9 women who had gone missing in Rocky Mount, all fitting a similar profile, African American, and histories of drug use or prostitution. 8 women's bodies have turned up since 2005, and Edgecombe County Sheriff James Knight says Pittman could be linked to them. These cases made national headlines. The investigation has come under scrutiny, many blaming authorities for not connecting the dots of the women's disappearances earlier on. The case has been moved to Bertie County instead of Edgecombe because of its high profile. Though Pittman is on trial just for Nicholson's murder, the other victim's family and friends will be in attendance in the courtroom. We understand Rocky Mount Councilman Andre Knight, who has been outspoken about the neglect given to these cases because of race, is also joining family members for the trial. Those said to be called up on the stand include law enforcement agents, forensic pathologists, Pittman's mother and girlfriend, and Nicholson's mother. Attorneys warned jurors yesterday that they could see graphic images and hear discussion of prostitution, but that they must be able to weigh evidence without being swayed by emotion. Also in our crime report, a case of domestic violence. Police have detained 26-year-old Derek Shane Garris after a female victim said he assaulted her. Around 3:30 Sunday morning, the 21-year-old woman alleged she and Garris were arguing while in a vehicle on South Winstead Avenue. She told police Garris began strangling her in the vehicle, and when she fled, he came after and assaulted her again. Garris, who now faces felony charges, was taken down to Nash County Jail and placed on a 48-hour domestic violence hold. Police say the woman did not request medical assistance. Authorities need your help in solving a case of burglary. They've arrested 1 man, but are still looking for 2 more. Friday night, police arrested 22-year-old Dustin Johnson for his alleged involvement. A 61-year-old male victim said a man by the name of Tony came to his home on Melton Drive asking if there were any odd jobs he could do. While he was speaking to him, the victim says he heard noises at the back of his house. The man was struck by one of 2 other suspects he also knew. Who had entered his home through the rear and were stealing property. Johnson and another man named Brandon were identified. The victim was able to reach for a rifle, fired it, sending the suspects fleeing. One suspect actually snatched the rifle from the victim before leaving. Johnson is charged with first-degree burglary, assault on a handicapped person, and larceny. He was jailed under a $50,000 secured bond. Police say if you know the whereabouts of the suspects named Tony and Brandon, you're asked to call Crime Stoppers at 252-977-1111. And an alleged snatch and run occurred at Walmart over the weekend. Saturday morning, Rocky Mount police say 22-year-old Montroy Ezell Mabry allegedly grabbed a wallet out of the purse belonging to a 19-year-old woman who had placed it on the top rack of her shopping basket. The victim grabbed Mabry and tried to retrieve it. That's when it's alleged he ran out of the store heading toward Old Navy and AutoZone. A male witness said he saw Mabry throw the wallet down by Old Navy. The wallet was recovered during the investigation. Mabry is charged with financial card theft and larceny. He was issued a $2,000 secured bond and was transported to the Nash County Jail. In other news, it's been weeks since Hurricane Irene ripped through the area, but the city says they're still working to get everything back to normal. Today, we continue our update in the debris cleanup process. To tell us more, here's Public Works Director for the City of Rocky Mount, Jonathan Boone.
Another thing that's been a little bit confusing for some of our residents, the city is collecting most of the material here in town, but there are some routes that the city cannot collect because of guidelines from FEMA and also the Department of Transportation. Those are called federal aid routes. So I'll give you some examples. Bimini Road, Gold Rock Road, Sunset Thomas Street one-way pair, Bimini Road, Peachtree Street one-way pair, East Grand Avenue, Fairview Road, certainly Westland Boulevard. Only the North Carolina Department of Transportation can collect material, vegetative material on those routes. Now we'll be coming back behind them to collect material. Say if someone had a utility building or something like that was damaged, or a deck on the rear of their house and had some demolition debris, and bringing that out to the curb, we will be collecting that. But the DOT has been collecting some of those routes, and we're collecting the rest of those. But again, of the routes that we were responsible for vegetation, we're a little over halfway done. But it's still going to take a few more weeks. You know, I would estimate we're probably looking at another 2, maybe 3 weeks of collections. That's to complete this first pass and also come back through with a second pass. What we're seeing, even though the material that's being put out behind us is certainly not as heavy as what we saw immediately after the hurricane hit. So we made a lot of progress. We've still got a lot of ground left to cover. As I've said a couple of times, I know it's frustrating for a lot of residents. They want to see that material taken away. Again, we want to get it as quickly as we can, but if they just be patient, we're trying to prioritize the areas based on those that were the heaviest hit. And we've got some calls from residents that say, well, you know, you're working in a zone and they're collecting material on some streets that don't have as much debris as I have on my street. Well, again, we had to break the city into 33 zones, and yes, there may be pockets within any given zone where the damage is not as great, but overall, we tried to look at the overall damage within that zone and prioritize collection based on those numbers. And again, the other thing, it's not a perfect system, recognize that, but we had to work with data that we were able to collect a couple of days after the storm. But again, we're working as quickly as we can and hope to put this behind us as quickly as we can and move on to other things.
We'll be keeping you updated on the cleanup effort. When we return on NewsBreak, it's the latest jobless numbers for the Tri-County. This story and more right after these words.
Country Inn & Suites is your home away from home with a staff that always treats you as family. If you or your church or company has visitors, give them a great Rocky Mount welcome with a special discount on their overnight or extended stay. Not only is the Country Inn & Suites a comfortable place, we'll spoil them with fresh cookies and complimentary breakfast. We are filled with luxuries like an indoor pool, fitness center, and a guest laundry. The business center includes a boardroom, connection to high-speed internet, and catering for meetings is always available. Call me, Donna Chavis, at 252-442-0500 for a tour and or to set up your corporate rate. You're always welcome as family in the Country Inn & Suites, Rocky Mount.
Welcome back to WHIG TV Newsbreak. I'm Marie Torres. Mixed news on the job front for the area. According to the latest data from the Employment Security Commission, jobless rates increased in 47 of North Carolina's 100 counties in August. Rates decreased in 32 counties and remained the same in 21 of those were Edgecombe County, which saw an improvement as the jobless rate decreased in August to 15.1% compared to the previous month of 16.3%, the highest rate for the county this year. In Nash County, the rate in August was 12.8%, a slight increase compared to July's 12.6%. And Wilson County remained the same at 13.6%. Compared to the state and the nation, North Carolina's rate in August was 10.4%, while the national rate was 9.1%. The state is offering work for the North Carolina State Fair. They say individuals interested in working at this year's fair can apply for jobs through the Employment Security Commission of North Carolina. The annual state fair will be open October 13th through the 23rd. Applicants will need to apply in person through their local North Carolina Employment Security Commission office. This week, the city will continue a series of town hall meetings. Held this Thursday, September 29th, the meeting will target the 7th Ward of Councilwoman Chris Miller. The focus of the town hall will be on current road conditions in Rocky Mount, how roads are slated for repair, and community code enforcement. City officials say an update on storm debris collection will also be shared. All are invited to attend. It will be held at Church on the Rise, located at 3520 Bishop Road, beginning at 6 p.m. And September is Ovarian Cancer Awareness Month. Experts say ovarian cancer is one of the most deadly of women's cancers. Annually, nearly 22,000 women will be diagnosed with this cancer. Last year, statistics show that nearly 14,000 American women died as a result of it. And though many women don't seek help until the disease has begun to spread, if detected at its earliest stage, the 5-year survival rate is more than 93%. Check out this video to see if you or someone you know may have experienced symptoms of this disease.
Early ovarian cancer may not cause obvious symptoms. It's often hard to detect because the symptoms can be vague and because the ovaries themselves are small and located deep in the pelvis. Doctors and researchers have learned which symptoms are more likely to occur in women with ovarian cancer than women in the general population. And these are the things to look out for. Some women have reported abdominal bloating or noticed that their pants are too tight around the waist. Some women also experience pelvic or abdominal pain. Another symptom is difficulty eating or feeling full quickly. Some women also experience urinary symptoms, either having issues with urgency or needing to urinate frequently. Other symptoms, which are less common, include feeling very tired all the time, having shortness of breath, or having unusual vaginal bleeding, such as having heavy periods or bleeding after menopause. It's important to remember that most of these symptoms are not due to cancer. Any woman could experience these symptoms occasionally for any number of reasons, and many women do from time to time. The key is to ask yourself if these symptoms are new and unusual for you, and if they have persisted for several weeks or have become more frequent or more severe. If they have persisted and represent a change from the norm for you, go see your gynecologist and be sure to ask about ovarian cancer.
In terms of symptoms that I experienced in regard to ovarian cancer, I didn't even know they were really symptoms of that disease because they're so common and were common things in my family, like some frequent urination or gassiness, and I did have very, very slight bloating. So by the time I was diagnosed, actually at stage 3, which is when people are often diagnosed, they weren't extremely noticeable, which is sort of the scary part about this disease. So if people notice that something is just persistent, they really need to pay attention to it.
For more information on ovarian cancer, you can go online to www.ovariancancerawareness.org. Before going to break, let's check out our Pet of the Week.
This is Molly. We rescued Molly from animal shelter in Charlotte. She had been dumped there by her previous owner. We don't know anything about her background. Obviously she wasn't well taken care of because she had heartworms and she was very, very thin. And Vicki offered to foster her, so we got her out of the shelter and had her heartworms treated. And as you can see, she's putting on a little weight. And she is ready to go to her new home.
All right. And how does she get along with everybody?
Oh, Molly, as you can tell, she's wonderful with everybody. She's wonderful with humans. She's wonderful with other dogs. She's a little timid and shy. She's had a little rough life, you know. At first, you kind of got to give her little space, but then she'll come right around and love you. And she's just a great companion. I mean, once you've made friends, you've got a friend for life. She's a good girl.
Okay.
Good girl.
All
Gives
right.
kisses.
Loves to give kisses. Loves to be rubbed. You know, she is a true boxer. She bounces. She doesn't walk. She bounces everywhere she goes. She just bounces and bounces.
And house trained.
And house trained, yes.
Okay, good. And tell us the importance of adopting, especially with such a lovable pet like Molly.
I know.
Well, the importance of adopting is you just get a friend for life. You get a companion that you never thought that you would have to start with. I mean, it's just amazing what they can do to your heart. There are millions of animals out there that don't have a home, that are dumped, that aren't fed, that just to the side of the road. Animals can't take care of themselves. We have to take care of them. I mean, you need to adopt to have a friend and to have your companion and to have a soulmate, so to speak, or something. But she's just wonderful. Just wonderful.
And they die every day. They have to kill them because there's so many of them in shelters every day. Got an email right before I left work that at 3 o'clock there was beautiful, beautiful sweet pit bull that 3 o'clock they were going to gas her to death at Nash County. And I mean, it's just so, I mean, that dog was just so sweet. Could have had a really nice home, but you know, there's so many people not adopting and people are not fostering, and they have to kill them. And I just think it's so unnecessary for one of God's creatures like these that, you know, have to die just because of humans.
And now, with the economy and everything being as bad as it is, and there's a lot of crime on the rise, too. And if you read any article that you read on crime prevention, 95% of the time they tell you to have a dog. A dog will help prevent crime in your house. 9 times out of 10, if a burglar comes and he hears a dog barking, he's going to move on down the street. So there you go. You got an alarm system built in there, too, all at the same time.
Good. And so if people are interested in adopting Molly or want any other information on volunteering or how they can adopt other pets, give us some information they can.
Okay, they can call me at 252-969-1394. And we also have a website, spcaanc.org. And they can email us or call us, and we could set them up.
And we have animals also out there on the website too. They can go out there and look at pictures and pick from there to see if there's something that they think maybe would be a better fit for them. If they're maybe not into the boxers.
We have little ones, medium, large.
Got a special need you want, give us a call. I'm sure we can find you one. If there's a particular breed that you're out there that you're looking for, I'm sure we can find you one.
Up next is a look at weather. We'll be right back. When it's happening to you, you'll hear from us. WHIG TV NewsBreak is reporting on the news, issues, and stories that matter to you. Call us at 252-885-1814. Email us at marie.whigtv@gmail.com or check us streaming live at whigtv.com. We're your voice, ready to bring you the news.
The Country Inn & Suites is your home away from home with a staff that always treats you as family. If you or your church or company has visitors, give them a great Rocky Mount welcome with a special discount on their overnight or extended stay. Not only is the Country Inn & Suites a comfortable place, we'll spoil them with fresh cookies and complimentary breakfast. We're filled with luxuries like an indoor pool, fitness center, and a guest laundry. The business center includes a boardroom, connection to high-speed internet, and catering for meetings is always available. Call me, Donovan Chavis, at 252-442-0500 for a tour and or to set up your corporate rate. You're always welcome as family in the Country Inn & Suites, Rocky Mount.
Thanks for staying with us. It's now time to look at our forecast in WHIG-TV weather. Here is meteorologist Fred Holdsworth with that update. Fred?
Well, as we go into the latter part of this week, we're going to see a considerable change in our weather. The past few days we've had showers and thunderstorms around, and it remains to be seen, are we getting ready to head into our typical dry season, October and November. Those are our two driest months historically and climatologically. Boy, that's a tough one to say this early in the morning. But anyway, we could be heading into our dry season, and where all this rain we've been having, we'll be glad we got it. So October and November typically our driest seasons. Well, on our upper air chart, let's take a look at that upper air chart. We see one thing standing out, and there it is. That's that upper low that has been causing all the shower and thunderstorm activity that has mainly stayed to our west, but should be moving into our area as this starts to slowly move to the east. The low pressure system sitting right over northern Illinois right now, and it will begin to move very slowly to the east. Now what this is doing, remember the flow around this thing is counterclockwise, and that brings up moisture from the Atlantic and from the Gulf as it picks it up and brings it right over our area. And as this moves closer, we'll see that flow become stronger and bring us more chances of showers and thunderstorms. Now by Thursday, this should be out of the way, and we will go to a drier regime for the weekend. At least right now it looks that we will be in the dry pattern for our weekend, although there's a little indication Saturday might be a little iffy, but right now I'm going to stick with a dry day on Saturday. Well, let's take a look at our forecast and see what we can expect for today. Showers and thunderstorms with a high of 87, south wind at 8. Tonight, cloudy, slight chance of showers and thunderstorms with a low of 65 and a light wind. Fog tomorrow morning, then a chance of showers and thunderstorms with a high of 86, south wind at 7. Wednesday night, chance of showers and thunderstorms with a low of 64 and a light wind. For Thursday, sunny, 84 degrees for the high, a west wind at 7. Thursday night, clear with a low of 58. Friday, sunny, 81 degrees for the high. Friday night, clear with a low of 51. And for Saturday, sunny with a high of 70 and a low of 48. Our high temperature yesterday, 84. Our low this morning was 70. No rainfall at our weather station during the past 24 hours. Now the extremes across the country yesterday. The high temperature yesterday, 107 degrees at Cotulla, Texas. And the low, 22 degrees. That occurred at Seneca, Oregon. And the most rainfall yesterday occurred at Cincinnati, Ohio. They picked up 3.96 inches. And that's a look at your Rocky Mount and Tri-County weather.
Thanks, Fred. That's all for us here today on Newsbreak. Join us again Thursday for our live news at noon. For WHIG TV, I'm Marie Torres. We'll see you next time.